Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the weekly Blockstar announcement podcast, going out every Tuesday at 8 p.m. UTC. I'm Toby.
And I'm Mark. You may recognise our voices from our previous venture as AMA lounge owners. We've conducted loads of AMAs over the past year, over 50 in fact, with projects ranging from your big blue chips right down to smaller DJing plays as well. We'd really like to delve into the detail of projects and structure AMAs in a way that provides community members with as much information as possible. And it's this structure that we'd like to bring to Blockstar as well. We're both super excited about joining the Blockstar family. We've been following the progress of Blockstar ever since its initial launch, and we've already witnessed some massive developments in the last few months alone. So, in terms of our roles, we'll be heading up public relations, and our initial focus will be on the podcast side of the information that we provide to you going forwards. We'll go into more detailed information about that in a second. But one of our next podcasts that we want to focus on is a more informal chat. So this will give you the opportunity to get to know myself and Toby, if you don't know already, in terms of our experience within and outside of crypto as well.
Yeah, so now that Mark's given a brief introduction to us, it's probably a good time to point out the other changes that have been happening in the Blockstar ecosystem. The regular Blockstar users might have already noticed some subtle changes to the team structure within Blockstar. David's brought in some very skilled people who will be heading up different departments, and we are looking forward to introducing you to the different departments and team members in future podcasts. Whilst we all have our individual skill sets, we have one common goal, and that is to grow the Blockstar ecosystem to its massive potential. I'll let Mark tell you a little bit about how we're planning to shake up the podcast series and bring you some entertaining content.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving forwards, we're going to try and structure podcasts in a way that gives you the information that you want to listen to. So if you just want some short, sharp, to the point updates about all things Blockstar, you can join into the weekly announcement podcast, which will take place as it always has done, Tuesday, 8 p.m. UTC time. These will be 5 to 10 minutes long and will provide you with updates on what's been happening at Blockstar and what exciting things you can expect in the near future as well. So, in addition to those podcasts, we'll also be introducing a more crypto chat style podcast. And this will be split between informal chats with myself and Toby, where we'll talk you through market conditions and any hot topics that are at that time. And then the second element is conducting interviews with leaders within the space to get their take on all things crypto as well. And then lastly, we'll also be conducting interviews with projects, so in the form of AMAs that launch on the Blockstar Launchpad in order to give you a full understanding of what sets these projects apart.
Yeah, like Mark just mentioned, we're changing the podcast structures, and some of the podcasts will feature around the various projects launching within the Blockstar ecosystem. So far, we've had two successful launches from the Blockstar. POC, which was a proof of concept token, which was adopted by the Blockstar community, followed by Ember, which took off like a storm. That was one hell of a launch. But the launchpad is quickly developing, and not only are we able to launch BSC and ETH tokens, but also Avalanche and Polygon projects. So keep your eye out for a project called Beast, which will be making use of the Avalanche chain on the launchpad very soon. One of the big things for Blockstar as a whole will be the ability to launch on our very own Blockstar chain. So, Mark, do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about the Blockstar chain? Don't give too much away, though. We can break it down properly in another podcast.
Yeah, so like Toby said, one of the things that really is special about Blockstar is its upcoming blockchain. So for those that haven't been listening to previous podcasts, Blockstar is actually launching its very own blockchain in the first quarter of 2023. You've probably seen what can happen to other projects when they release their very own blockchain. So there could be some very exciting movement in the chart once it does go live. But the thing that excites me most about the chain itself is what goes on behind the hood. So, a few things to note. One is the fact that it has its own native wallet built directly into users' profiles, which basically means that Blockstar doesn't have any custody of any user funds whatsoever. Number two is that the chain uses a hybrid model that combines SEX and DEX with a full public ledger. And this is a big one for me. So there's no need to worry about whether funds are being hidden or misused or over leveraged, like we've seen with other massive projects that have recently died, because all of the information will be publicly available for you to view for your peace of mind. And this is obviously a massive hot topic at the moment, and it's something that we'll be dedicating a full podcast to in the future, diving into Blockstar's very own blockchain as it gets closer to launch.
Yeah, certainly a hot topic at the minute. Thanks, Mark. Anyway, hopefully this has given you a little update on things that have been happening behind the scenes in terms of the team structure, but also giving you a hint about how huge the future could be for Blockstar. Thanks for tuning in to listen to these Blockstar updates, and we'll also look forward to you joining us in the future live podcasts that we've got planned, because we've got some really exciting stuff for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see what's to come and also to present that information to you. So we look forward to having you join us at the next one.